Hello and welcome to the Power Up Talk Show, a talk show where we bring together community leaders and inspirational people that are making a difference in our world. I am Spady, your host, and before I introduce my two amazing guests, we always have to start off with something fun, and that is Dion Bass with Songbird Cocktails. Hello, Dion.
Hey, Sandy, how's it going?
Hi, great.
It's always good to be on your show. So today we're going to do something a little spicy. We're going to spice it up. I am going to be doing a Calabrian chili, or we'll just call it a Calabrian chili and a prickly pear margarita. So we're just going to start out with our prickly pear. I like to use real, if you haven't noticed from a couple of the other shows. And we're just going to do some real prickly pear because it's yummy. Of course, our next ingredient is we're going to add our spice. Now, I like to use Monin agave and spiced syrup. Now, I heard that we have someone who doesn't necessarily like to do a lot of spice, so I'm going to be very careful with that one. Our next ingredient, and one of our main ingredients, is always going to be lime juice when it comes to a margarita. Oh, yum. And last but not least, we're going to be using our Terra Fertile, or Fertile Earth, tequila. And oh my goodness, I could tell you so much about this tequila, like in droves. It is one of these celebrated tequilas. I absolutely love it. It is just understandably delicious. Goes with just about every tequila cocktail you could have, and you can sip it at home just on ice. So once we do all of that, we're just gonna pretend like we're Beyonce and shake it. All right, got our cocktail shaken. Then we're just gonna strain these into our glasses. They come out a really nice, pretty color of pink. They would be perfect for I don't know, Power Up Talk Show.
Power Up Talk Show.
And there we have it, our spicy Calabrian chili margaritas. Cheers, ladies. Have a good day and a great show.
Alrighty, so let's cheers, my ladies, real slowly without spilling, maybe, yes. Okay, let's give it a shot here. Makes me hungry for Amigos. Guess what, audience? We are in for a treat. I have two special people from Amigos. Who doesn't love Amigos? Crispy meat burrito, taco salad, nachos, pico. I love the pico. So we have here a special treat today. We have Jazzi Vogelpohl. And we have Jan Moore. Jan Moore is the VP of Marketing, and Jazzi is the VP of Catering and Community Service. I have known Jazzi for a long time. She was one of my ambassadors when I worked for the Greater Omaha Chamber. She is always Jazzi, and I love it. You can't not say Jazzi. I love Jazzi. Her energy is just so sweet and kind, and she really does care about the community. She's helped me with Win With Voices, and you do a lot. There's Jazzi. Jan, okay, let's talk about VP of Marketing. That's exciting. Now, I know Amigos opened up in 1980, right? The big 80s. Tell us about the journey of Amigos. It's Nebraska owned, local, right? I consider it's a locally owned business. I love it. What's the history of Amigos?
My husband, Roger, and I wanted to have our own business. And he had helped select managers for SRI Gallup. And we just decided to give it a go and started our first restaurant at 55th and O Street in Lincoln in June of 1980.
Wow.
So it's going on 45 years this year.
Wow.
Quite a journey.
Tell us about the different journey as far as, you said you expanded in different, states and you stuck with Nebraska, like the journey of Amigos.
Well, we have gradually, added new different menu items. We have gradually tried different types of restaurants even. We've been in convenience stores. We've been in malls. We've been, with food trucks now. There's, quite a different things few things we've tried over the years. And at one point, we were probably in about 6 different states, mainly college towns, both for the customers and for the coworkers. And we were in Colorado, Kansas, Iowa, Vermilion, South Dakota, all over. And at one point, I think almost up to maybe 50 locations. But then malls, that was kind of a trend that has changed. Convenience stores as well, somewhat. And at one point, we just felt like for what we could handle and for what we really enjoyed doing, we belonged in Nebraska.
Yes.
And so it is a Nebraska-only chain, started here in Nebraska and only in Nebraska with currently 24 locations.
24 locations. Well, I just really want to know who came up with the crispy meat burrito, the recipes, the meat, like who came up with all that? I mean, they're scrumptious.
You know, especially in the beginning, we went a lot with things we would taste in California or in Texas. We have a wonderful friend and chef who helped develop most of our restaurants, or most of our recipes. And he's come back over the years to help us do certain salsas, to help us with certain issues or problems in the kitchen to make it. And we do a lot of homemade things every day in every kitchen. It's not the easiest, but we think it's the best.
Well, I love your pico. And I didn't realize till Jazzi told me the other day that the ranch is like signature. And we all love the ranch there. And it's sold at Hy-Vee, like you brand it off and now you can buy it because people are in love with it. Did he come up with the ranch too, I have a feeling, or who?
When in about 1984, when we started, I think at 14th and Q down by campus, university campus, we decided to have a salsa bar. And the ranch had been pretty popular, but just mainly with the taco salad. But we put, our spicy sauce and the jalapeno peppers and the ranch on the salsa bar, and people loved it. And they started, dipping everything in ranch or dunking things in ranch or drinking ranch. I don't know. It just kind of took off, and that started kind of the Amigos craze for ranch.
Wow. And now what other items do you have in Hy-Vee? I didn't know this, and so I'm like, what? What's in Hy-Vee?
So depending on which location, because we have a great partnership with a lot of the ones in Omaha and Lincoln, kind of is tailored to each unique neighborhood. So like all of our locations have a ranch because, let's be honest, we're Nebraskans, we're Midwest folk, ranch is where it's at.
We're dipping it, yes.
But we also offer a lot of our signature items like our soft tacos, our enchilada dinners, and then we like to do these fun rotational things. Like we just came out with a fajita dinner that we're trying out in some locations. And we like to just see what each unique neighborhood likes to have on hand. And so we have lots of options for people to quick have a lunch if they can't find a location or have, the 30 minutes to leave their desk. So lots of different options too.
So it's in the frozen, right? Is it in the frozen meals, right?
It'd be actually in the deli section, typically.
Nice.
Although we usually have some frozen crispy burritos. And, if you've got a teenager or people that get home late from practice or something, the fact that they can put something like that in the air fryer or oven.
So you can find the crispy meat burritos in the frozen department? No, or is
it depends. Some of our locations do frozen. I have a few that do it in the deli because people like to have it
right away.
Yep, right away, and cooks a little faster if it's not from frozen.
How about 156 in Maple? Like, what about that location?
That would be in the frozen section.
Okay, good to know. I need to know that. Awesome sauce. Okay, as far as marketing, right? You're VP of marketing. I'm sure you've seen a lot of campaigns. I was in TV, print, and radio for decades, right? I love a great campaign. What are some campaigns that were successful in the past that you've done, or what do you do to keep things fresh, right? You've been around since 1980.
One of our most popular campaigns is the one we'll be starting soon again, is the seafood campaign. And it's timed with Lent.
Yeah.
And again, it's a limited time only, but as a takeoff from the crisp meat, we went to the crisp crab Rangoon burrito. And it's really quite yummy, especially dipped in sweet and spicy sauce. sweet and sour.
Did not know this. And
Yeah, you have to try it.
scrumptious.
Yeah, you have to try that one.
Yummy.
And actually, like my son-in-laws came up with a taco years ago, like a fish taco recipe with a sauce and with cabbage and with pico de gallo and all that. And years ago we started that, and so we look forward to that every spring, where we bring back like everything from jumbo shrimp baskets and the cod and the fish tacos and the shrimp baskets and the crisp ragoon burrito.
I didn't know about that crispy ragoon burrito. Wow.
So good. If you love crisp crab or
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Love
one of
it.
our favorites, and we do a lot of different new menu items and just we like to try a lot of new things.
As far as like marketing, advertising, all that, it's keeping it aware, right? Why does Coke, like when I did marketing, it's like, why does Coke still advertise? Why does Pepsi still advertise? Why does Amigos still advertise?
Well, there's plenty of competition out there. And you want to keep your brand in front of people.
Yes.
And we like to give, I think everyone's kind of watching their spend right now. And so we still do some couponing. And now with our new app, to be able to get rewards, that's good.
Ooh, you had me at app. Tell me about the new app. Okay, Jazzy, what's the app? What's it going?
So it's part of of our 45-year celebration. We wanted to bring out this app, which just got released a few weeks ago. And you get kickbacks for being our guest, because Amigos is friends. Like, that is its namesake. So to keep those relationships building, like, be rewarded by enjoying your favorite foods. Come back, get your taco, get your points for it, and then get rewarded with getting those built up, $10 reward, to enjoy more Amigos.
To enjoy more Amigos. I love that.
All kinds of other fun things, like maybe some secret early release options for.
So when you go to order, or do you just order on your app and you pick it up? How does it work?
Whatever's
Either
most
way.
convenient. If you go through our drive-through, they ask, get it scanned, get your points. If you want to do a delivery, you could go through the app, get points that way, save a little money doing
So
it
it's
that way.
it's an app that you can scan when you order, and you go to check out and you go, I got my app, scan it, so you get the points that way.
Yeah, and you can order ahead. That way, all you have to do is come in, say, I'm here, grab and go.
Can you grab and go through the drive-through? But if you don't really want to wait, if it's busy, just go
Yep.
inside.
Absolutely.
So you can order
Yep.
ahead of time. Either walk in, grab it, it's already paid for.
Yes.
Or if no one's in the line,
Yeah,
'cause
go through.
if no one's in the line, we're going to go through the drive-through. and
Oh,
pick it up.
absolutely.
But you always scan it and get the points. What made you decide to do that? It's pretty cool.
I think, again, keeping up with the competition and the national chains, people enjoy the convenience and they like to feel special, kind of like you're in the premium club or something, So I think it was time. We've worked on this for quite a while and needed to, update registers and do some things to make it work.
Sure.
But we're excited to have that offer and to our customers, and yeah, I think it's a good thing.
I do too. Let's talk about catering. Because you're like
Hey.
the master catering queen, right? I worked for the Great Omaha Chamber, still love them, still do things with them. And everyone wants the Amigos. What is it? The
ranch fountain.
The ranch. Okay, that's why people come for, okay?
The centerpiece of magic.
Tell me about catering, because you are so good at it and you always have such a great smile. Tell me what's happening in the catering world.
I don't know. It's still trying to reach out to people, give another avenue for people to enjoy and elevate people's gathering experiences. I mean, there's lots of ways you can get catering done, but having something that's fresh and, I'm sorry, who doesn't like tacos? Like, you can get it tailored to whatever you want. And I just love being able to be that person to bring that food, because food brings people together.
Absolutely.
And helps build those relationships. Like, there's that saying about breaking bread and stuff like that. Like, it's a great way to make even meetings better, from early morning to late night. Party snacks help, soak up some of that fun before people go home at
absolutely.
weddings and stuff. We just like to offer things that people need and want to make their gatherings more enjoyable. And I love being that person to not have that stress, because food should not be a stressor. And so I like to make sure that all those details are covered. So all we have to do is come in, set up, and all you have to do is worry about enjoying.
Yes. So do you, anything from like 10 to 12 to 350, what's your range that you cater for?
if you need food, I don't care how big or small it is. I am here to share the love of food.
Share the love of food.
Yep.
I love it. What's the number one thing ordered? I'm going to guess it's the crispy meat burrito because at our morning coffee that Jazzi was at with One with Voices.
Bars, right?
Yep,
I think the bars.
Our
give
self-serve
variety.
taco bar is our
Yeah.
number one because we offer a lot. Like a lot of taco bars are very basic. You get your meat, your shells, tomatoes, lettuce. We include everything you could possibly need to make the perfect taco. Plus our ranch is included because our tacos and ranch go hand in hand.
Yes, that's so true.
But otherwise for gatherings like afternoon meetings, our mini crisp meat burritos are also very popular.
And you can cut them in half. You did that before. I've been somewhere where you cut them
Yep.
in half, and so it's like a bite-sized type thing.
Oh yeah, I love doing that for entertaining personally. So
Well, then I think too with the variety in our menu, the fact that it could be a breakfast meeting.
yep.
You know, we have breakfast offerings, or it could anything. You know, the late
Yes.
night, like you mentioned, after weddings, all of that.
What do you have for breakfast items? Or is everyone breakfast, or just some locations, or is that something off just for catering?
Right now, our franchisee out west does not have breakfast, but he hopes to add that soon. But breakfast burritos are our number one seller, and we have one of the best around.
Are they on every location except for the west one to get the?
In that Kearney, Grand Island,
Yeah.
Hastings, North Platte area, they don't have it yet, but they
Okay.
hope to add.
But
soon.
all Omaha locations.
Yes.
all Omaha.
Did not know
6
that.
a.m.
Yeah,
Dark and early.
yeah.
I'm so hungry
Yes.
for Amigos now. Okay.
Yeah.
As far as community service, because I know Jazzi is so helpful with the community. She volunteers her time. She was an ambassador. She's helped with One of the Voices. What's, every company I like to know, like, what's the purpose and passion behind the company? Like, is there a specific nonprofit or any community that you bring awareness to or would work with or does work with? Like, what's one that
Well, over the years, I think that we have always kind of catered toward anything that would help younger people and families, young families. I think that was kind of a sweet spot for us. We've been, I guess Teammates was one over the years. We've done fundraising for, we've done sometimes different, like for a disease, or we've done different over the years, selling the shamrocks and all of that. But we're very involved with with the Husker program, and like just today, like we did some things with ballparks. We're with Baxter Arena. Just we want to be known as a local company, and we want to give back to a lot of our loyal customers.
do you ever do like a I know when I dance for a chance in youth emergency services, I went to a couple of my restaurants that I worked with the chamber, and they had like a Giving Tuesday, like a 2% or something percent. Do you do things like that with schools or?
A lot with elementary schools. Elementary schools, or sometimes it's a band or a large group that needs to raise funds for something.
Well, I was a cheer coach and a cheerleader, and it's $1,000 easily, right? That the school doesn't pay for, so that would be great for those people getting the band uniforms, the cheerleading uniforms.
Right. Right.
Even choir, they all have to have things, and it just doesn't provide it through school. So if someone wanted to reach out for you and they're like, oh, our school's getting new band costumes, and they're like $2,000, who do they reach?
I think probably calling into our office, or probably the website.
Yeah.
We've got a good contact site, and we'll get back with you and do what we can. Like
You can't do all of them, but yes.
I
Yeah,
know.
you want to, but like just ahead of time, you probably have a certain amount that
I
you
think
can help.
through the website is probably the best
Perfect.
way. And we just a lot of times try to do a certain amount every month
Yeah.
on the smaller
Yeah.
things. And
For like galas and things like that.
Yeah.
Nice. What is it new that's happening or that you foresee in the next 5 years with Amigos? I mean, you've been around really strong for 45 years?
45 years now.
Yes.
Yes.
What do you think has kept you strong for 45 years? Because we've seen some franchise like come and go. There doesn't exist anymore.
I remember at one point my husband said, 2 out of 3 mom and pop type restaurants are closed by the end of 3 years. And I'm like, maybe you should have mentioned that sooner.
Right, that's my whole life for that, but yes,
Right.
45 years
But,
later.
it comes down to a lot of people like Jazzi who care about Amigos. It's not just a job. It's like we have a sort of like a family that cares and invests a lot of time and effort and hard work. And so I think in the end, if you're going to last 45 years, you've made a few more right decisions than wrong decisions. And you've got a good community base that supports you.
Yeah.
And you're blessed.
Yes. Well, I know Jazzi loves her job. The minute I met Jazzi 5 years ago when I was like at the chamber and she was my ambassador. And I think that says a lot for the company, right? Because when you have happy employees that are dedicated, that have stuck around, how many years have you been with them now? 5? 4?
I think actually just 4.
4? Okay.
But yeah, you
Probably
definitely
when I
met
met you.
me
Yes,
fresh out
right
the
when you
gate.
started. Yeah. And that says a lot for the companies. If you can,
It's
keep
hard.
for hospitality. I mean, I grew up, I don't know if you know this, I grew up in a mom and pop restaurant in Lee Coast, Specialty Hut in O'Neill, Nebraska, and I fell in love with hospitality. And I always say I found my voice at that table, visiting with customers. I was in 2nd grade. I couldn't do much more. Me and my twin brother, we'd bus tables. Well, he did. But I visited people, right? And I found the love for people in the community because when there's a celebration, you go out for dinner. But there's a funeral, you go eat. It's such a hub. And even working for the Grand Hall Chamber, I've always just been, hospitality's been my heart. Because where would we be without it, right?
It's a tough business,
Yeah.
but it's so rewarding. I mean, almost every day we have somebody that writes in and says, thank you to so-and-so for being so nice to me at the drive-through window.
Yes.
It's appreciated. I mean, you have the power to make someone's day better.
Yes. And it makes me think of when I'm a public speaker, right? And I spoke to a lot of banks, right, for all their help. And they wanted to have the tellers feel important. And it's the same way as the drive-through. It's the first impression of your company. And they can meet anyone. I mean, they have like the best job because they are up front right there when they walk in, taking the order. They have a chance to make those impressions and they meet amazing people. So everything comes together, right, when you have a business and every person has an important part of that. And so even like that teller, right, coming through the drive-through, like you said, can make a difference with the right smile and attitude.
Right.
Yeah, and I have to say, I've always had good service. Always. I would not say if I didn't, but I do. I think Amigos is kind of like the Runza company, right? It's so like, it's ours, Nebraska. It's like our company. It's our food. It's our pride and joy. I feel that. And Amigos is like that too. And I think it's going to go another 45 years stronger and better and yummier and keep the crispy meat burritos going. What is some things as far as marketing, as far as if you want to reach, you have a new product. You say, you have a new product right now. What is it in marketing that has worked or does work for other ones that are just starting out there? Like, what do you tend to do that make it successful?
The funny thing about marketing is about when you think you understand it or know it, it changes.
Yeah.
And I think now to reach a younger audience, there's a lot more with social media and digital ads. But, we do everything from, outdoor digital billboards to still some radio or TV. And we're hoping that the app helps us spread the word too.
And that app is out right now. It's
Yes,
brand
it
new
is.
released.
About 3 weeks ago.
Wow. And so how are you promoting that? Like in my old promoting days, I'm like, okay, how are you? Well, besides this talk show, we all know everyone's watching this. Okay, that's one thing. But what is some other things that you do to promote that? What can we do, or where can they find it, or how are people finding this app?
We start somewhat with the people that work for us. Remind all your friends and family to download this, and then of course they can share for a reward, and
smart.
so some of that. But I feel like we've kind of tried to pull out all the stops and do what we can because we want to get people started with it.
Yeah, and get it going.
And we started out with some real good offers for rewards for downloading, and
so those offers are right now going on. Okay, I know what I'm going to do.
Yep.
All right, what else is it that you can share with the journey with Amigos?
As far as like marketing, I mean, I'm always blessed. The word of mouth is the biggest compliment anybody can give. So every time somebody does referrals, like I got your information from so-and-so because they said you were so great. And that's even just in our business, in the drive-through, catering, every aspect. It's being able to give that great service, make those connections, those relationships, so people want to share that. And if you're starting out, I think that's your saving grace. You want to get those relationships, have people believe in you, because then they want to share that love of what you're doing. And I think that's really another great avenue where Amigos has, because we have those great relationships with our community.
Yes.
People just love to share that.
Well, I know with you, Jazzy, you go out there with the community. She goes to a lot of chamber events, the one with Voices that I belong to. She always has her earrings on, and you're always smiling, right?
They're a little smaller, my Amigos.
They're cute though. They're cute though. What's one thing we can tell our audience to get a hold of you if you want to cater, if you want to do something, if you want to, like, what's the number one way?
Oh, geez. I mean, I feel like try to be as accessible as possible. Like, call, text me, find me on Facebook, message me, LinkedIn, go through our email, website. You can even go through like the app and go to the catering, which will give you to the website as well to place that. So if you can find a way to get a hold of me one way or the other, I'm your gal, and I will get it figured out for you.
And Jazzy's great at answering her phone and
Right now, it's
helping you out with
Yeah, right now it's more important to be here. But what's the one favorite item you like? Like if you had to, I'm stuck on an island, you get one Amigos item, what would it be?
For me, it'd probably have to be our Steak Street tacos, honestly.
Ooh.
I always tell people tiny but mighty, because they're so flavorful and fresh, and I can just eat those all day long.
And that's a very authentic taste to that one. It's gluten-free.
They're very fresh too.
Gluten-free. It's pretty pretty good for you. Yeah.
Yeah, how about you?
Oh, I probably have to say the chicken taco salad. That would be one that I would eat pretty regularly.
I've not tried the chicken, but I love the beef.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. However, our number one seller has always been the regular soft taco.
Wow, you're right. I do get that. You know why? Because you get a little sour cream in there, like other soft tacos. You get a little bit of extra of everything.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I mess up and I'm like, oh, this isn't where I get my soft taco, and it's just like nothing in it, and I'm like, you're right. I do get that
Soft taco
and it
and
fills
ranch.
you. Yeah,
Great marriage right there.
love it. It's been a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, thank you.
And Jazzy's always so great to be around. I just love Amigos. I love that it's a locally owned company. Go make a difference. Go eat. Go grab Amigos. Fill up your tummies, and let's go support our locally owned businesses. Thank you.